Grab your bag and leave the gym that day, Cyril.
Hi, bonjour et bienvenue sur votre chaîne YouTube Démystifiant l'anglais. Today you're gonna learn from the mistakes of Francis Ngannou and Ciryl Gane. Let's start with the recent confrontation on the sparring footage. Alors, il faut déjà noter que sparring, c'est un terme technique qui signifie combat d'entraînement. Donc, ici, il parle d'un présumé coup de pied gauche de Francis qui aurait mis Cyril KO lors d'un combat d'entraînement. Here we go.
He was knocked out probably because he doesn't remember.
No, this is not the truth.
Well, this is a common pronunciation mistake for French speakers. You don't say truth, but truth. Actually, the th sound is either voiced in words such as thou and the, or unvoiced in words such as think and truth. So instead of saying truth, you would rather say truth. You've got to be careful with that.
You're from Cameroon, but you started in France, the same country than mine. So this is a real pleasure to represent our country.
Not the same country than mine, but the same country as mine, because you're making a comparison of equality here. Dan is used to point out a difference. So for comparisons of inferiority, superiority, and preferences, that's where you're going to use Dan. And to make it sound even more natural, you could say, for instance, but he started in France, which happens to be my country too, right? Now, this word doesn't sound pleasure, but pleasure. It's a real pleasure for me to represent my country.
You went to the floor, Cyril, and then you left the training.
This is a past action, so you don't use the infinitive form of the verb. You should say, and then you left the training. The predicate of leave is left. To leave, left, left.
You see, I'm honest with you. You hurt me. You hurt me. But you don't knock me down.
Okay, again, it's a past action, so you should say you didn't. Now, there's a difference between to knock down and to knock out. When you knock down your opponent, it means you've hit them in a way that they automatically fall. When you knock out your opponent, the impact is stronger. In this case, the opponent remains unconscious for a while. So I think there might have been a miscommunication here, a misconception somehow. Because to me, when I listen to this footage, Cyril is not denying the fact that he's been knocked down. He's just saying he wasn't knocked out. So yeah, English was probably a problem here.
This is not the knock down.
You didn't went down on the left high kick, Cyril.
Actually, this one is quite interesting because I know even some native speakers in the United States tend to make this mistake. You didn't went doesn't make any grammar sense at all because went is the predicate form of to go. And knowing that didn't is followed by the infinitive form of the verb, you wouldn't say you didn't went, you would say you didn't go down, or you didn't fall, or you didn't drop, right? So you have to be careful with these verb tense issues.
You don't respect me in front of the people. You're lying.
I'm lying?
I sleeping after you left kick? Seriously, connect me on the eyes.
Okay.
Honestly.
Alright, let's restructure this question. What he was trying to say is, did you put me to sleep with your left high kick? To put to sleep means to get somebody to sleep, literally. So, the expression is used in the fighting context in the case of knockouts. And also for kids, to put the kids to sleep. It also refers to the fact of giving drugs to suffering animals so that they can die without pain. So that's what it means here. Now, by connect me on the eyes, what he actually meant is look me straight in the eyes. That's what he wanted to say here.
You really don't knock me down. Exactly what's happened is you hurt me. I was really surprised about the power.
Not surprised about, but surprised by the power. As ESLs, it's very important for you to familiarize yourselves with the prepositions that can follow the verbs that you learn. Sometimes these are phrasal verbs, so you learn the verb plus the preposition, but when it's an isolated verb, you need to familiarize with the prepositions that can follow it.
The power knockout of the opponent.
Say one more time.
I learned the knockout power.
Oh, the knockout power.
The
Sorry,
knockout
pardon
power.
me.
Sorry
Yeah.
for my English.
Yeah, no. Hey, it's better than my French.
And yes, I don't have a bad feeling against Francis also.
Another preposition mistake. He should say, I don't have a bad feeling about Francis. And not also in this case, because also is generally positive, all right? So it's negative. So I don't have a bad feeling about Francis either. That's what it's going to say. In French, that would be non plus, all right? Or when you want to say moi non plus, me neither, all right? Me neither. I don't have a bad feeling about Francis.
It's better than my French.
So yes, I learned a lot, and I was really lucky to have him when I started the MMA.
The correct structure here is to look forward to doing something. So look forward to plus verb plus ing. The verb is at the progressive form here. He should have said, I'm looking forward to fighting him, or use the verb to have. So I'm looking forward to having him.
This is the biggest strength he have. So you must be focused on it. And but even if you have power, I'm not afraid about that. It's really different to be afraid and to be focused.
I'm not afraid by. About doesn't work here. And where he says it's really different to be afraid and to be focused, the correct structure will be there is a difference or a nuance between being afraid and being focused. So when between is followed by a verb, the verb takes the ing form.
This was more funny when he was really close to touch me.
To use the comparative of superiority with a short adjective, you just add E and R to the adjective. If the adjective ends with Y, then the Y will be replaced by I. In this case, funny will be funnier. More is for long adjectives. Alright? You would rather say, it was funnier. And I think in this context, what he meant is it was rather funny. C'était plutôt drôle.
You can see me before the fight. I can dancing. I can laughing with my guy.
There's a problem with the present continuous here. After can, you will use the infinitive form of the verb. So I can laugh, I can dance, and etc. Or else you would say I can be, then the progressive form. I can be laughing, I can be dancing, or you can see me laughing, you can see me dancing.
If I was leave the USA, I don't know, I haven't think about that question.
Okay, two things here. First, this is a hypothetical situation, so was is followed by to. If I was to leave, if I was to go, and etc. And where he says, I don't know, I haven't think about that. This is a past action. So he would say, I haven't thought about that. The two past forms of to think are thought, thoughts.
Because after I fought Curtis Blade in China, I went back in Cameroon, and on Christmas I have a Ken Velasquez fight. So I couldn't come back in Vegas on time.
Here, to express a movement from one place to another, you would use preposition to. So instead of saying I went back in Cameroon, he should say I went back to Cameroon. I came back to Vegas. Except if you are already back in the place you're referring to. Then in this case, you could say when I came back in Cameroon. As you're leaving right now there, you're staying there.
So I couldn't come back in Vegas on time to set up a training camp because the fight was in February 17th. So
when you're given a full date, the date of an event, not just a month, you will use preposition on. So here, instead of saying the fight was in February 17th, it should say the fight was on February, and the right pronunciation is the 17th. So the other option would be the fight was on the 17th of February. Alright, so I'm not going to go any further with Francis. I have to acknowledge that he's made a lot of progress over the years. I remember when he joined the UFC a few years ago, he needed a translator, and now they're both able to communicate, which is the most important thing here. Now, tell us who you think is more fluent in English. I want to know. Say it in the comments. Bye for now.